In a country where the average salary is 20,000 to 25,000 rupees, how can Apple, an uber premium brand, able to sell 12 million phones? I mean, people in the office are willing to spend 4 times their actual monthly salary to own this phone. And if you even compare this to, say, an Android phone, which may have better specs and features on paper, why are people actually buying an iPhone?
Camera.
Work.
UI interface.
Vlogging.
Camera.
Data privacy.
But what if I told you people are actually not buying it for all these features, but they're actually buying it for something completely different? Actually, I have a story for you. The story begins with Agarwal uncle. And this man in that mohalla was the only house which had a lawn but also had a Zen and a Maruti 800 outside his home. No one at that time actually owned a car. You know what's common with the iPhone, the car, the color TV, the CD Walkman, and all these other items? At a certain point of time, other people could not afford it. It was expensive. Second, when someone bought it, they showed it off. It was visible to everyone. And third, they all talked about why this is changing their life for the better. But all of these were actually purchased not for the features, but for social signaling. When you look at the iPhone and say, it's the best, what do you really mean?
The iPhone is one of the slowest charging phones. Benefit of Android. Phone of the year 2023, the Pixel 8. It's the backbone of what they're building off of. I would take the screen from the S22 Ultra.
Different phones are good for different things, and in many of them, iPhone does not rank 1. iPhone is selling cool, not just features. Why do people keep still buying it? Actually, Tim Cook says this beautifully. He says our objective has never been price optimization or selling you a low-cost phone. His objective is to sell you a really great phone, and they try to do this with all the tech that they do, but at a low cost to themselves. And what happens is that people tie this object that other people can't have to their identity, which is why it's called the identity trap. But the identity trap gets a little worse because it starts with a gateway purchase. Let me explain how this works. Any good product is designed really well to work within an ecosystem. Other products from that mother company that fit perfectly well to make it good. For example, the GoPro. You can't just buy the normal GoPro because once you're done with normal GoPro, you want the underwater version. So you have to buy a fitment on top of it so you can actually waterproof it. All of these guys have other products that fit seamlessly to make your life actually easy. So this is not really a trap. It's more like a better product, but you just get sucked into it because you have to buy more from them again and again and again. And you'll notice the same beautiful design is in Apple as well. When you send a normal text message versus an iMessage, there's a difference. The AirPod, for example, perfectly syncs with your existing device and all the other devices. You can switch between them very, very easily. All of these things make it nice to use an Apple product because it connects with your existing ecosystem beautifully. This is a pretty old playbook, but just Apple makes it look, like, I hate to say it, sexy. You might think that all these ecosystem upgrades are pulling you in, and these are actually Western constructs. This is not true. One of the best examples of an ecosystem lock is actually school. You go to the school and you think you have to pay the fee. But no, there are 5 different kinds of uniforms your parents have to pay for. Then there's the fete, there is the school excursion they had not planned, and then there are other events. They could be hand printing, drawing, other hobbies. That's an ecosystem lock because at this point, once your son or your daughter is inside a school, you can't say no, right? Everything we see, which is really profitable, has the ecosystem lock. Now, an ecosystem itself isn't a bad thing, right? I mean, capitalism hai, so people will lock you in and you will pay more. The question is, how do you get started? And in Apple, this thing is really, really tricky. You would think that right now people are buying the latest iPhone, but there is data to show that people are actually buying the iPhone 13, which is 3 generations away. Can you tell me why? Because it's cheaper and you can enter using a refurbished route. So a used iPhone is what you can buy, and finally you can signal to your friends that, hey, I'm part of your club too. I just paid a little less. So once you enter the refurbished route, you will actually want the latest one because you now crave all the features that your iPhone does not have. And you'll also see all the other items as well, like the MacBook and the iPad and everything else that they sell, which is now not available to you. You just have half a product. What happens is that you look at the new iPhone and what you see is this: a monthly EMI of 6,000 something to own the thing you've been dreaming of. Just 6,000, right? Of course not. You actually don't see all of these items that you'll actually want to buy, and this is the real cost. The iPhone is 80,000 rupees, the MacBook Air 99,900, the AirPods 4 is 12,900, the Apple Watch SE is 24,900, the iPad is 49,900, and the total cost is 2.67 lakh rupees, and this is the minimum cost. This is not even the high-end version of these devices. And it doesn't stop here. It continues digitally too. You must have seen this. On purchase, they'll say, "Who's going to take care of your iPhone?" I said, "I'll take care." They said, "No, we'll also take care. Please buy Apple Care." And then they have all this buying the iCloud service, which will keep going up because you'll keep using the iCloud. Eventually, it will run out. And because of the sync, you'll have to upgrade that too. And then you have Apple One, which bundles all these subscriptions in one place. You'll need that too because, well, it just works so well. The point is, this EMI over here is a lie because you will buy a bunch of other things and your expense is going to be more than what you thought it is. But it actually doesn't stop there. Look at this. 36% of all Apple users actually upgrade to a better device, the newer one being launched every 1 to 2 years. So what started with a single new phone of 80,000 rupees went up to a couple of lakhs. For some people, the journey didn't even start with 80,000. It started with a used phone, and then they ended up spending so much. From a business lens, this is magnificent. People won't buy stuff if your product isn't good. You are not forcing them. They are doing it by choice because of societal pressure, because how cool you've made it, because of the messaging, the marketing, the tech, and the product is working. But from a personal finance lens, you're buying things because of external validation, and it's probably not the best thing for you, especially if you can't really afford it. And this brings to our final point, the illusion. The illusion started when you were a kid. Every year, you wanted something that you wanted that no one else had. Remember that MRF bat? The best bat you could buy when you played cricket. That was the iPhone then. In my life, it was the PlayStation. I and another friend had a PlayStation, and each of us had different games. Whoever had the best games, our friends would congregate on that area. That was my iPhone back then. The point is, every few years, you've also had an iPhone equivalent your life, and you achieved it, got it, but that pleasure didn't last. Even today, you want another MRF bat, except it's not the bat, it's the iPhone. Once you get the iPhone, you'll want something else. And this will never ever end. Let me simplify this for you. Take a piece of paper, divide it into two, and on the right side, write reaction. And on the left side, write things I really want. On the reaction side, you'll react to stuff that happens outside of your control, but you respond to it. Similar response theory. Basically, when a new iPhone launches, it's really cool, you feel like buying it. Put the word new iPhone there. Then a new gadget releases, put that word there as well. Next time you open an app, there is a sale on something, put that thing over here. All these things are you reacting because they're creating an urgency. Abhi kharido, you should buy it right now. And on the left side, you have stuff you've been wanting for a while now. Maybe it's the PlayStation. For me, it's traveling to certain countries and doing these crazy experiences. You've got to make sure that this part doesn't drain your money such that you're not able to do the stuff you really want over the long term. Is the iPhone really something that's career life defining? If it is, put it over here and then you should go and buy it. And that way, Apple won't be fooling you, you won't be fooling yourself, and you'll be buying something you actually want.